Good afternoon. I am Fani Roux. Welcome to Fanky's Theological Tantrums. In this video series, I'm going to investigate the contentious issue of the role of women in the church. I used the 3 short theses that I wrote on this subject while studying toward my honours degree as base. I studied through SATS, the South African Theological Seminary. The source information will be provided in the description of this video or on slides. Regarding that, it depends on technical issues whether the slides I have made will work on this video or not. Also, if the technology allows me, the sound of this video will be increased, the sound level, so that the volume is more acceptable. If it doesn't happen, I apologize, it's because of technical issues. On the issue of women in the church, there are currently 3 main views regarding women in the church, or the role of women in the church. Number 1, egalitarian. In the mid-1980s, the DRC, the Dutch Reformed Church, NG Kerk in Afrikaans, began to allow women to become ministers, pastors and elders. In the Dutch Reformed Church, we have ministers. From when I was young, I remember what people said when they spoke about this and seeing how people acted. In the 1990s, a woman candidate minister helped my dad in the congregation at times and for a short period. Some of the people were very unhappy about this. Nasty things were said and done. Sometime later, an older woman minister from one of our neighboring congregations also preached in our congregation from time to time. For a few years now, it has happened more often that women ministers or candidate ministers have preached in our services at times. More of our neighboring congregations also have women ministers. Number 2, complementary or complementarian. Some years ago, my sister and I visited and got involved with a congregation of another denomination on Sunday evenings. That denomination, as well as the school system at which I worked until 2017, believe it is evil and heresy when women preach or become ministers, pastors or elders, or even deacons. But women may hold virtually any office outside the church, in the broader community, in civil society. Number 3, traditional, hierarchical. There were and still are people holding the traditional view. Women must stay at home. Therefore, both the church offices and office in the post and qualifications in the broader society or community are affected. For how long could women not become doctors, or soldiers, mayors, and many more? One day, while doing research for my studies, I found a debate on YouTube between a woman minister and a traditionalist male minister. That male minister would not even allow his own wife to attend a women's missionary conference. It would be wrong. I felt very, very sorry for that woman minister in that debate. She was verbally abused, berated, and vilified by the male minister and people phoning in. The sea could not wash her clean. Opposed to this is the fact that there have been women ministers in Africa and other places for quite a long time now. Therefore, from a very young age, I have had dealings with all 3 sides of this contentious issue. What must I believe? Which one of the 3 views is right, or rather true? Each view believes that it is right and teaches it in this way to its congregations. With one or two exceptions, none will ever say that there could be any doubt about their interpretation of this issue. Even more so, virtually none would ever admit if they had any doubts about it. Rai, rai, ripa. In English, guess, guess, guess. It's part of an Afrikaans guessing game or saying, and it's the best way to express my utter disgust with what is going on. Rai, rai, ripa. From a very young age, this has bothered me, this issue. I come from an egalitarian background, and this view became part of my faith. But I was bombarded with complementarian views from nearly all sides. And yet I have wondered about this issue. Am I a heretic, as one of my friends called me? I wonder. Do I understand and interpret the Bible correctly? Or am I just reading my preconceptions into the text? After writing the 3 theses, I doubt much less on this issue, and yet the doubt is sometimes there. I must add that I really did not want to research or discuss this topic in my thesis. After what I have seen and researched before these studies, this subject made me sick. To me, this is a toxic subject or topic. I searched and prayed and searched some more for other topics. I would start planning, but it would not work. In the end, I came back to this topic for 1, then 2, and finally 3 theses. I wanted clarity and peace in my soul regarding this issue, peace for myself. I did my research, homework, regarding this issue as soundly as possible, carefully. Every time I was busy with the research or the thesis, I pleaded with God to make His truth known to me. The truth, His truth. Not my truth, not someone else's truth, His truth. Did I sincerely go to God to ask Him His truth regarding this issue? Did I do I really want to ask God's wisdom, knowledge, and insight regarding this issue? Or am I just another false teacher or minister or pastor wanting to follow and promote my own truth? I do believe that I am and was sincere about this. Would God then, after my pleadings, purposefully allow me to follow false teaching? Or is my reasoning just my own heretical reasoning? The authors of the main complementarian sources I use are also sincere Christians. Is this topic important? Isn't it just another side issue, of which the importance is blown out of proportion? On the one hand, a person may view this topic as a side issue, but it is not that easy. Complementarians view this topic as being about God's authority and also all authority structures that He put in place. Therefore, women in the church as ministers, pastors, or elders directly challenge God's authority structures, just like Satan did. Such women and their supporters are then in rebellion against God, as Satan is. On the other hand, Jesus told His disciples in Matthew 9 verse 37 that the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. The following question is my own question, therefore that of a sinful man. Why would God, or how can God prohibit half if women make up half or about half of the church, How could God prohibit half of his children to whom he gives or gave the talents and gifts from holding certain offices in the church if there is such a shortage of workers? Even if all the male Christians stood up and started to use their own gifts where God wanted them, not just wherever, where God wanted them. The question is if there won't still be an enormous shortage of workers, seeing as that the road to hell is broad and many go on it, while the road to God is narrow and few find it and few stay on it. Therefore, most people, the overwhelming majority, are heading toward hell. Would God not then rather use every single one of his children, regardless of gender, male and female, so that as many as possible would come to him or become his children? Again, this is my human question, understanding and folly. You, the viewer, have the choice to really listen to and think about and ruminate on what I say. Some of you have already branded me a heretic and a false teacher. It is your choice. Whatever your view is regarding this issue, you must work it out with God. The following important information will be repeated in the video introduction of each thesis. Please note, these are theological theses. The style and the language reflect this. It reflects my thoughts and my reasoning. For this reason, some of my sentences are long. Therefore, please listen carefully and with attention to what I convey and go think about it. These are theses and include the citations of sources in the text because they are important and it was required of us. However, these citations will be even more shortened in these video versions of the 3 theses for YouTube. Otherwise, the sentences, you lose track of what I'm saying. But the more complete source information will be provided as complete as possible, as slides if it works, or just in the description at the bottom of this video. However, because the number of characters is limited for the description, the information will still be shortened. Thank you very much. I hope this series is informative and help you to understand the egalitarian view. Blessings.